Hello, Miss Brizee.
Hello. Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome, and welcome back to the United States.
Yeah, been a long time.
Yeah, how long have you been gone for?
About 4 or 5 months.
Oh, wow. It's a good time to be gone.
Yeah.
Does it feel good to be back?
Yes and no.
Okay. Okay. What's the weather like overseas? Is it hot?
Hot.
A different type of hot?
Dry hot.
Okay. I don't think I've ever experienced a dry heat. So.
Yeah, go to Vegas.
So I've been following you for a little bit, and I've been to a couple of your shows, and I'm just really interested to hear about your journey with music, your background, because you seem like such a diverse and well-cultured individual.
Right.
So are you from Kuwait or from the Bahamas?
No.
Okay.
So, let's break it down.
Okay.
Basically, I was born in MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, Florida.
Okay.
My parents, ethnically, we were Bahamian. We're from the Bahamas. But I moved around a lot as a kid because, parents moved around, career, NATO, did all kinds of cool things. So, cause we ended up going to the Middle East at a very young age, from maybe years like from 5 until I was about 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
Then I moved back to the States. And then I moved back to the States, finished school, went ahead, joined the Navy,
Okay.
and then after the Navy, got hurt, got injured, and then I lived in St. Pete in Tampa for a while, and started just making music, and I've been here ever since. But now I currently live in Kuwait, just visiting right now.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're visiting. Was it hard moving around at such a young age growing up?
Yes and no. It was nice to actually have like that freedom of like meeting new people all the time, but the stability I wish I had. But I wouldn't replace for anything in the world.
I think that's great that you got to experience probably so many different cultures, because I don't think a lot of us have.
Right.
And it's just, I can only imagine the different foods you get to try, the different
Of course.
way, the different style people live.
Of course.
So I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And how did you find your way into music?
Well, I've always been very musically inclined since I was a child. Like my mom and dad, we would have like records and like cassette tapes. Like as a kid, every day I would go to school, like listening to like Luther Vandross or Alexander O'Neill or Tina Marie. I would take one CD a day, walk with the Walkman. I'm going to school. Like little me, just go to school. It's always been a thing. Music has always been a thing for me, but I never thought to take it necessarily seriously until I got older.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it? How long have you been professionally like doing this? And
Professionally, I would say about 7 years now. So
oh wow, it's a while.
So like I'm turning 25 this year. I started when I was about 19 after I got out of the military. And yeah.
Oh my gosh, I hope you take this as a compliment. Like every time I've just seen you, like you always seem so well poised and well carried. Like I didn't know you were so young.
Yeah.
Wow, I never knew that. Please take that as a compliment. So did you start at home, kind of just experimenting with the DJ stuff and the machine, or how did you like?
I started really like, I always had an ear for it, but I really just decided, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. My cousin had a baby shower actually, and they needed a DJ.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a whole setup. So I put it on a credit card, and I DJ'd my cousin's baby shower, and that's where it started.
Really?
Yeah, genuinely.
Who would have thought a baby shower?
Yeah, baby shower. Yeah,
Okay.
baby shower, and then I kept going from there, going from there. I kept going from there, and then I was like, oh, house music. I like this. This is where I need to be. And then it kind of kept going from there.
Who were your biggest inspirations that you drew from with house music?
Biggest inspirations, I would say Honey Dijon, Green Velvet, Jeff Mills, DJ Minx. You know, a lot of people that really, really curate the sound and really like are there for the music. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And especially being, you know, a part of the LGBT community and also like just doing great things of what they do. I applaud all of them.
Yeah.
So they've always been my best inspirations.
I've seen Green Velvet twice,
Mm.
and each time he's been really great.
Yeah.
And you've played at a lot of local events, and you got started with one of us. And how long have you been with them for? And like, what were your most like memorable parties or like sets you did with them?
Well, I started off in Tampa in general
Okay.
in about, I want to say 2019, 2020. Then one of us we started getting with one of us, and we had a whole show that was just spectacular. It was at a warehouse. No, it was at a museum, like an art gallery.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds fun.
Yeah, it was an art gallery, and then it was the most amazing thing ever. It was like daytime vibes, and it was the first time I ever played like any sort of like bigger type of production, and it was incredible. I had a great time from them, and then it kind of just went on from there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, working with them has been, you know, one of the best things I've ever done in the past few years. And, like, it's incredible to see how much things have changed within the past couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you earlier, every time I've gone to any of their events, I always feel extremely safe, very welcome. Their service is always great, and you know they bring in really good artists.
Yeah.
Like the Ilario, I can't say his last name.
Ilario Cante.
Yes.
Ilario Cante.
He was somebody I'd never heard of, but
Yeah.
I went and it was great.
Yeah.
And the venues that promotion company picks, they're really cool venues.
Yes.
I liked how that was it Ava or Avalon?
Avalon.
Okay.
Yes.
It was a really big.
It's a big venue.
Yeah.
Very big venue.
It was nice.
Yeah.
I liked how they also had like 6 bathrooms. You didn't have to like.
Yeah.
You didn't have to wait in line.
No lines. I honestly get so much anxiety from bathrooms.
Have you ever been to Hyde Park Cafe?
Of course.
Okay. 2 stalls.
Yeah, no.
And maybe one is working.
Maybe.
And the other place that I liked was the factory. Is that the factory in St. Pete where they had the Camel Fat show?
Yeah, the Camel Fat show was great.
Yeah, were you there for that?
Yes.
That was an awesome show.
Yes.
I don't think I'll ever forget that night. Have there been any artists that you've been able to meet and connect with, and how was it meeting artists that you liked in person? Did you have like a fangirl moment where you were like freaking out, or?
Fangirl moments. Definitely, Ilario was such an amazing person.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing energy, amazing time. Such a cool guy. Like, this very Italian, you know. The music was pumping. Everything was the vibes were right. We had an amazing time. I want to say maybe another event that we had. I would say Sperma Bosa. They're also it ended up being close friends of mine. We brought them here a couple years ago, and we continue to bring them here. They play Gasparillo, and I wasn't there unfortunately. You know, I work overseas, but they are the best people ever, and it's nice to have such a community and being able to bring people together and also bring artists together, and artists like myself, so I can work on my production and show them, and we actually maintain friendships and genuine connections. It's a blessing.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
You talked about curating, the experience.
Yeah.
And how do you do that, when you're playing for people? And what's your ultimate goal when you're playing, in front of people?
My ultimate goal is really, because it comes from the soul. It comes from the soul. If there's a show that I'm playing, or anything that I'm going through, if I know the set that I'm giving out the energy for them.
Mm-hmm.
I want to, my music, I want to make people feel good. I want to make them feel things. That's my way of thinking. Whether it be production, whether it be mixing, that's why I'm very intentional with the way that I do things.
Mm-hmm.
And some people may find it weird, but at the end of the day, I love to protrude that energy onto people, because people need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely times, where I've not been in a great place and I've gone to a show and the music I can just close my eyes and the music just takes me somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then also I've met so many people in my life through just going to shows that I never thought I'd be friends with or hang out with, and it's just opened my eyes to a whole different level of acceptance. And I was just I truly feel like when Pablo says music unites us all.
Yeah, of course.
How do you deal, or have you ever been put in this situation where you go to play a show and management's like, we want you to play this type of music only? Do you tell them, no, I'm sorry, I'm going to do my own thing? Or
usually, if that's the case, I won't take the booking. I'm very logical. I like to strategize, I'm very strategic when it comes to certain things. If there's an event that I know that I can pour my love and heart and soul into, then I'll take the booking. Other than that, I'm not gonna take it.
So you're not afraid to say no?
No.
Good for you.
No. It's not worth it, in my opinion. It's just okay, am I gonna do this for this money? Okay, money is fine, but at the end of the day, I'm losing myself in the process. So why?
Those are some really powerful words, because there are probably many people right now, I shouldn't say right now, but just in general, that would take money with something they're not in alignment with.
No, it doesn't align with me. I'm not going to do it.
And you also mentioned that you lose yourself.
No, I'm not doing it. No.
I think that's great that you're strong like that. Good for you.
It takes time. It's not necessarily, obviously when you first come up and you're trying to create your sound and create your new into the industry, you're trying to get anything where you can to get your name out there, but realizing what's important and okay, is this going to be beneficial for me? That's where it comes to play. Other than that, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not beneficial, I'm fine.
That's great. I'm glad that you said that. How have you dealt with the challenges of, production, making the music, and then delivering it? Because it looks so easy from somebody on the outside, right? Because we all post the great stuff on social media, but what does it really take, to get from start to finish? And how do you deal with the ebbs and the flows?
It takes time, it takes effort, it takes dedication. There's sometimes you want to just bang your MacBook or your computer and just throw it against the wall. There's some days where you don't feel good about yourself, but you have to remember to keep your shutters on.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I have this analogy that I use all the time with people, is that you go on a horse race and you have the blinders, right? So they're focusing on the straight shot,
Mm-hmm.
right? Keep the straight shot going. Just focus on your straight path.
Mm-hmm.
What that person's doing and what that person's doing is not your path. Your path is your path. And what you got going on is what you got going on.
You are giving some great life advice.
That's it. Like, that's all I can do.
Yeah.
I can only be myself. I can only be who I am as a person. I can't like try to become someone else. I can't compare myself to someone else. For what? Like, my path is to make music and love people.
Yeah.
And that's all I can do. That's it.
I think that's great because you're absolutely 110% correct. When you lose those blinders, you can get so caught up.
You're caught up in everything else. You're comparing yourself to other people. You're comparing yourself to other things. When you realize, like, okay, well, this person may have something else that may have them have a step up in something.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have that yet. Okay, so let's focus on me so I can focus on that so we can go forward.
How do you stay motivated?
Praying. Honestly, praying.
Yeah.
Praying. There's days where sometimes I don't wake up and I don't even feel like doing nothing. But I wake up and I'm like, alright, I need to get up.
Mm-hmm.
I need to do something. Like, I'm human. Not everybody's gonna have the same thing over and over again. You know, not everybody's all wake up happy, cheery. You know, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Yeah, I definitely feel those tough days where you're like, oh man, what's the next step? How do I get out of bed?
How do you get out of bed? Getting out of bed is the first step.
Yeah, you're right.
Getting out of bed is the first step.
You're absolutely right. Have you ever struggled with the night life and being able to do your job and being like, oh, I'm here to work versus I'm here to party? Or are you able to balance both at the same time?
It's the balance can be a little bit difficult, but it takes a strong kind of human being to prevail it, because sometimes you have some people that go off the deep end.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I love the music, I love everything, but sometimes, you know, you gotta take a step back and focus on yourself.
Yeah.
And you know, when I was younger, especially, I was, you know, wilding out a little bit. You know what I mean? But now I'm just like trying to focus and just make sure that I'm okay.
Have you ever seen any of your friends struggle that are also either producers or artists where they just get caught up in the lifestyle?
Yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Friends I had to cut off. Friends I had to not be friends with anymore. You know, some people, when you elevate yourself so much as a person and you work on yourself throughout, sometimes some people are there for the moment and they're not. They serve no purpose for you anymore. So at the end of the day, it's like, okay,
yeah,
like they're good, we're out, and that's okay. It's life.
Yeah. What's that saying? Friends for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Yeah.
I have trouble. I'm having trouble staying awake right now. I feel like if I was ever an artist, I really struggle with balancing the two and finding that happy medium and not getting caught up in it.
Yeah, I mean, happy medium is what's important, which is why, like, you know, I choose to live overseas, and also, you know, I'm able to work on music, do gigs here and there. I'll come home here and there, you know, and do things like that, because I'm able to create that work-life balance.
Yeah. Is it easier to focus on your music when you're overseas and you don't have, I guess, the distractions of here?
Yes and no. Like, I get a lot of inspiration, a lot of different sounds, a lot of different things. Like I live in the Middle East, so it's like a lot of different sounds like the darbuka, the tablet, a lot of oud. There's a lot of different instruments and stuff, and so like even with my mixing and sounds that I play, it's you can tell there's a difference. So it's nice to have that inspiration. I love to travel anyways, so it's like nice to hear different sounds, different things.
Where's your most favorite place you've traveled so far?
So for my favorite place would be South Africa.
Okay.
South Africa is my favorite place I've traveled. But like to live right now, I live in Kuwait, but I love the UAE as well. But I'm actually like I love Thailand.
Okay.
Thailand is really nice.
Did you do the whole elephant thing? You were there.
I did not.
Okay.
But I loved being in Thailand.
Well,
Thailand's fun.
What's it like there? I've never been outside of the U.S.
Thailand is fun. It's a very fun time. Like people are very nice, very humble. You can get a lot of things for very cheap prices. People are very giving, are very loving, very about the community, and they're just such amazing, chill people. I love it.
When you travel solo?
It depends.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I usually sometimes it's solo, but sometimes my family comes out. Like my mom, mom and dad, they're retired, but they always come out and they always want to travel and they're always like, hey, we're going to Vegas, we're going this, we're going that. Oh yeah, I'm in Aruba right now. Like my parents are just wild. Okay. I love them. I love them. They're always ready to go. Passport is already stamped, ready to go. I love them.
Are you an only child?
I have 3 half brothers.
Okay.
But from my mom and dad, I am the only child.
Okay. Are you close with your other siblings?
Yes. Yes and no. Like I talk to them here and there, but not really.
How were your parents when you were like, I'm gonna do music and make it a career? Were they supportive or were you hesitant on telling them about it?
Oh man, well at first, my mom like obviously any Caribbean like background, they're like you're a doctor, lawyer, or engineer. You know what I mean?
Okay.
but as she saw that like things were moving and like the way I brought her to like multiple shows.
You brought your mom to shows?
Yeah.
Oh
I brought my parents to festivals. Yeah. And, like I brought my parents everywhere. When they saw like what was up, then they were like, okay, all right, cool. And the next day they were like, we need LLC, we need to do this, we need to do that. It was ridiculous.
I'm still in shock that
yeah.
Oh wow.
My mom was dancing front row. Like she was in the backstage with a tequila pineapple, just having a blast. Yeah.
That's amazing that your parents were so supportive.
My parents are at first they weren't, but when they started seeing like what was going on and then they saw like what was happening, then yeah, of course.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Absolutely.
That's great that your mom had dances and had a great time.
My parents my parents are very open people. Like they're very supportive. They just want success. Yeah. They love success. They're very successful people, but they are very humble and loving people, and they just want to see their daughter happy.
Yeah.
But also, doing what she loves and also making money as well. And okay.
I think you're very smart for having your career outside of music and music on the side, because I used to do stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
And we had these comics that would just do comedy full time, but were homeless, no joke, living in their cars.
Oh, jeez.
And it's like you can have a passion and you can work on your craft, but you don't need to be homeless. I mean,
yeah, like let's not do that.
Yeah, there were like 5 or 6 like comics in Tampa that were just living out of their cars, and it's like
What?
They're like, you don't want it bad enough. You gotta. I'm like, no, I want to live. I want to eat. I want to be able to pay rent.
Yeah, no.
So I think that's very smart that you've got other streams of income.
You have to. I like any person that tries to, become a DJ or artist or anything like that. I always say like, don't quit your job until this passion can fulfill the job that you have. There's no way, because like, you can go. I mean, obviously, we live in America. Okay, America's expensive. Okay, you have taxes, 35%. Okay, like, we have to look at these expenses and things that you have to pay for. No, let's be smart here. Okay, I understand that you have a passion, but let's have another stream of income so you can fulfill that passion as well. There's no way you can't do that.
I think we're seeing a lot of people right now, and I talk about this a lot, so I know this is going to sound repetitive for those of you that tune in religiously or regularly, but there's so many people right now, I feel, especially in this area, that are that are pursuing this.
Right.
And it's great, but I've also seen a lot of people that are financially struggling, where it's like, you don't have to put yourself in that position.
You don't.
But I mean, to each their own, right?
Yeah, no, to each their own. There are many people that I know that have literally headlined the craziest festivals, the most insane lineups ever, but they still have their day jobs. It's not touring, and like, until you're up there with Tiesto and John Summit, and when you're up in that caliber, that's when you can quit your job. And like, other than that, no.
Yeah.
Keep your day job.
Have you played any places outside of Florida or even outside of the States?
Well, I haven't played necessarily outside of Florida.
Okay.
I played outside of the country, like while I was overseas.
How was that?
It was great. It was
Okay.
great. It was more private events, things like that. But, once I get back over there, I'll be able to, get more bookings and stuff. But, I'm here on vacation.
Look at you, you're an international
I'm
artist.
trying to.
You're an international artist. Don't sell yourself short. What are some of your favorite venues to visit as a spectator?
In Florida?
Anywhere.
Anywhere? I would say, okay, if I'm in New York nowadays.
Okay.
Nowadays on Sundays is amazing.
Nowadays is?
Nowadays in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing. Amazing venue. Really good. Like, no phones on the dance floor. They have a ramen bar.
Wait, tell us about no phones on the dance floor.
There's no phones on there.
Is it an event where they take your phones?
No, they don't take your phones, but like, if you get caught with your phone like out, they'll like you out the club.
I actually like that.
No.
I actually like that.
Yeah,
because how many shows, like, we could go to a show this weekend, and how many people do you think would be in the crowd on their phones?
Yeah, exactly. No.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have a ramen bar.
Yeah, ramen bar, house music, outside bar, and the outside spot, and in the summer it's open.
Okay.
Amazing. And then if I'm home, I'll definitely do, obviously, space.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love space. Go to space. And then
Aren't they doing space? Aren't they renovating it? I could have sworn I
Yes.
saw something online.
Yes,
Okay.
renovation for the summer. They're coming back in the fall. Yeah. But yeah, nowadays favorite venue. Oh, Basement in New York also. Basement is really nice.
Is there a big difference in vibes between, I don't know, Miami and New York?
Huge.
Oh, tell me about it.
Huge. I mean, Miami's a different breed. New York's a different breed.
Okay.
It's one of those things like you can't really explain. New York, you walk in, he's like, let me get a bacon, egg, and cheese. And then you got homie, you got a rat. He got a rat off the subway. And then you walking and getting the bagel. And you going on your way to the club. But Miami is just like, everyone's just dancing. Merengue. It's just like, Miami's not a real place. Miami's just, like, my family's from Miami.
Okay.
My family's from Miami, and every time I go down there, nothing ceases to, like, amaze me. I'm like, oh, Miami.
So I've done this one festival 2 times in a year. We Belong Here. That's down in Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a really good vibe.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
But club space is hard for me because one, I'm a tiny person, and I'm only 4'10", so I can't even see anything. So when you go outside and you go on the terrace, like everyone's like, "Oh my God, this is such a great view," and like,
you're like,
I can't see anything.
I can't see anything. What's going on?
And then when I went, unfortunately, I got ghosted and went to the show by myself.
Oh, jeez.
So as a lone female, it was a little rough.
Yeah.
And I didn't know to go after 5 in the morning.
Yeah, you gotta go after 5.
So I was there from 1 till 9.
Okay, that's a nice shift.
It's a long shift.
It's a long shift. I would say let's go like 6 to like 2.
And I didn't know that. Like nobody told me that.
Let's go like 6 to 2.
But maybe when it reopens, maybe I'll give space another shot of love.
You still have some time now.
I know. I'm excited to see what the renovations will be like, though.
No, me too.
And I wonder who will be the opener once they renovate. Who will be the first big artist to play?
No, it's gonna be epic.
Who was your favorite artist you've seen there?
Ooh, favorite artist I've seen at Space.
Mm-hmm.
Honey Dijon.
Okay.
Honey Dijon at Space. Ricardo Villalobos. It was like right after COVID, where things were starting to like open right back up.
Okay.
And like this was the first time Ricardo even played like in the States in years. So
oh wow.
It was like 10 plus years. Ricardo played Space. It was incredible. And then what else? I think Art Basel closing party this past year. It was like a lot of Romanian DJs, Rampu, Uresh. Like if you like minimal tech house, it was amazing. One of the best parties I've ever been.
I always have seen that advertised, but I've never gone. So you would highly recommend to go if you could.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Have you been to Dubai?
Yeah, I lived there for 2 years.
Okay, so what's Dubai like, and what's their scene?
Dubai is definitely more. It's Dubai. Dubai is very up glitz and glamour, and there's a lot of things, but there's so many different sides of Dubai. But the music scene, we get a lot of the artists that we do here in the States. We get Solomon, we get, a lot of they're really into melodic and a lot of like more funkier kind of house music.
Okay.
Definitely more in the techno realm. So I saw Damien Lazarus and Honey Love there actually in Dubai this past few months ago. Absolutely incredible. It was at a beach club. Incredible. You would think you'd be like, I'm sitting in sand, and there's a whole production just going on. It's absolutely incredible. The production in Dubai is amazing. There's a lot of different clubs. There's a lot of different scenes. There's a lot of things to do in Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of artists do come to Dubai, as well as Qatar, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So there's a huge thing of like just artists, especially house music, opening up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're making me really want to travel. I have a passport.
Should.
I'm scared to go by myself.
Well, I'm going back, so just come through.
What other types of music do you listen to, or are you strictly a househead?
Oh no. I can't be strictly a househead.
Okay.
No. Coming from the Caribbean, I listen to a lot of reggae, a lot of dancehall, a lot of listen to jazz. Listen to a lot of things. Honestly, I listen to wubs like wubby music, drum and bass.
Mm-hmm.
I get like inspiration from all sorts of realms. I listen to a lot of Afro beats. I listen to a little bit of everything.
Okay.
R&B and soul definitely is the thing that really has my heart. That's what I grew up on. But mostly and they all incorporate with each other. That's why when people hear my set, they can feel the soul as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's great that you have such an open mind of music.
Absolutely.
And I think it's important to be open-minded.
You have to.
How do you handle, this is one of my favorite questions because I want to do this, but I'm not going to do this. How hard is our relationships when you're dating somebody? People find it such a, in fantasy land, oh my God, I want to date the DJ, but in reality, it's probably hard.
It's tough. Very tough. Very tough.
Do you deal with
Tough.
a lot of temptation?
No.
No.
Not even temptation. I think it's more so some people can, when they see you, they want you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They see you as an entertainer. Sometimes people can be a little aggressive and very rude. And it's, for me, it's having a strong mind is important, but it's sometimes people, they can just get a little out of hand, especially with, drinking and partying and all those things. They get a little bit more bold.
Can you share an experience, if you're comfortable, that maybe where somebody was out of line and how you handled it?
Not necessarily it's not necessarily one of these things. I think that I had an experience once where a woman, she decided that she wanted to touch my butt. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, if I told her, I said, if I was a man, you would have had me kicked out of the club. Do not touch me.
That's such.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Why are you touching me? What made you think that you could touch me? That's a good question. That's the thing. People think that because we have the same parts and that we are the same, we have the same, whatever, that all of a sudden it's okay. No, it's not okay. There's a respect and there's a boundary. And, when people are drinking and people are partaking or whatever, they get a little bit more bold and irrational, and it makes me upset. So sometimes, when I do play shows and stuff like that, I'm very reserved, and a lot of people take it. It's not that I don't want to, exude my love and give to people, but I've done enough. I've given you my music. But I understand that everyone appreciates it, but sometimes people can get very disrespectful, and so I just usually just take a step back, take a chill. A little break, go away for a little bit, and then I'll come back out to the dance floor and hang out. I usually just go away.
That's a very mature thing of you to say, because even, let's say somebody is in the wrong, and you snap and you protect yourself,
right?
People will be like, oh, Brizee's
yeah, and that has happened multiple times. Many times people have portrayed me as something that I'm not, and it's but have you seen your actions yourself? Have you seen your actions yourself? You can't expect me to react a certain way when look at what you did. Look at how you did it. but you expect me to just be like whatever? Come on.
Yeah, I think that those are some really mature words. I recently had an incident at a local club down here where someone was like not touching me yet, but you know when you can tell the ick is coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah, it's like
yeah, and then I'm like, all right, like what are your options? Like
yeah.
I can completely be a not nice person and shut it down right away,
Right.
or just try to politely be like thanks but no thanks, and
Right.
then even when you are polite,
they still come.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they like
always the
And-
worst.
like not everybody like I don't know how to say this, but like not like yes, I'm flattered you're giving me a compliment, but it doesn't mean I want it.
Thanks and goodbye.
Yeah.
Habibi, thanks and goodbye. Go away.
Go
Go away. Like, okay, bye.
I'm gonna use that next. Thanks and goodbye.
Thanks and goodbye, Habibi. Thank you, and go away.
Have you experienced as a female any different treatment, I guess, than a male artist? Do you think females have that the challenge is more that they have a more challenging process to go to than the guys?
I feel like there is for sure. I think that there is. Females sometimes aren't necessarily taken seriously. When it comes to things, there's some girls out there that just are, they come out and they're just being hot. And
Paris Hilton. Remember when she was DJing? Like, she got to play on Tomorrowland.
It's Paris Hilton. Like, you know what I mean? That was funny. But she's but it's just not even just that. It's like girls just I love that there's a lot of girl power nowadays, because when I was coming up there wasn't really a lot of female DJs when I was coming up here, and I was like the only girl DJ like here. Now there's like a plethora of women DJs now.
Yeah.
Which is good. I think that keep it up 100%. I'm all for the women power, but we have to make sure that we're still not going into the just wanting to look good and DJ. We want to be here for the music and what we're here for. We need to focus on exactly what the music is about. You need to focus on your mixing. You need to focus on other things, not just you just looking cute and DJ. You know what I mean? I'll DJ in some Adidas tracksuits and call it a day. It's not about that. I feel like now it's all about this image and this look and all of that. There's a lot more women DJs, especially compared to before, but we need to talk about quality. Quality is what's important. I'm not gonna go somewhere and support someone if I know it's not on point.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm okay. I'll rather be home.
Girl, you were on it with the TED Talks today. You're giving some great advice, and you're bringing up topics that a lot of people bring up on the internet, but won't come talk about it.
No, they won't talk about it. They won't talk about it.
So I'm actually like really impressed that you touched on a few things.
Yes,
that there are people actively online that will start a thread or post about it, but won't like publicly come talk about it.
Yeah, it's not about it.
And you don't need to call anybody in particular out.
Don't call anybody.
But I mean, I've seen a lot of issues with gatekeeping.
The gatekeeping is always gonna be a thing, and the problem is like sometimes that's where it comes into play, where you have to keep your shoulders on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is not, at the end of the day, if you know that your path is my path, is your path, you know exactly, okay, you want to gatekeep, okay, go gatekeep. Whatever God has for me is for me. I'm going to keep it pushing. I'm going to move somewhere else. That's it. You don't have to worry about other people. If there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
That's it.
I feel like if you truly want something and work hard for it, the universe and God.
Yeah, it will come to you.
It will come. It never comes in the way
when you want it.
Yeah.
It's never gonna come when you want it.
Or the way you think you're gonna get it.
Yeah, exactly. And, like the universe is like, relax, okay.
you're gonna get it like this, and you're gonna be happy with it, and that's okay.
Yeah. I also saw a topic online that someone was talking about booking repeat artists, and there wasn't, you know what I'm talking about, there wasn't enough new artists coming in, about people supporting, and sometimes I find it challenging. Like, you can't support everybody, right?
No.
And, like, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, we also have to talk about the economy, for one. Like, you know, we can't always be at every single show spending all this money on people. Like, you know, like I said, living in America, like, which is why I don't live here anymore. Like, you know, like, living in America is tough. It's, you know, trying to support people, and, you know, you want to support your friends, you want to support your things, but it's hard, you know what I mean? Not many people are making as much money, and the cost of just an average night out takes, like, pretty much half of your paycheck in one night, if you think about it. And especially if you're a drinker, or, you know, you like...
We got an Uber?
Yeah, you Uber and all of that stuff. Okay, like, that's going to be about $20, $30, and then another $30 back. And then you go to the club, you got to pay for the tickets, it's $20, $25. Depending on which event you go to, it can go up towards to $100, $150. So it's like, it's difficult for people right now, because people want to support, but right now the money is just not there.
So,
you know?
I'm happy you touched on this, because I was telling you earlier, I live quite a ways away from Tampa and St. Pete.
Yeah.
So when I go, and if I'm going to have a good time,
Right.
I am going to Uber there.
Yeah.
And it's probably $50 to $60 to Uber there.
100%.
And then to get home at night, I'm looking at no less than $100.
$100.
So just to get
Just
there.
to get there.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, you know, you have to space everything out.
Yeah.
But like, that's what makes it, you know, you have to space out when you want to go out. It would be like, okay, maybe like once or twice a month.
Yeah.
It can't be like a weekly thing.
I see some people, man, who are out every weekend, and I don't know how some of these people do it.
They usually live close, or, you know, they find ways, but, you know.
I mean, I'm like, man, like, there are people that are out, I feel like, you know, 5 days a week. And I mean, kudos to them, but I can't.
I can't.
So what do you have? What are your long-term goals? What are your short-term goals? What are you just kind of hoping to do?
Right now, I am focusing on making more money.
Okay.
And also focusing on music, trying to get more tracks out, getting them signed. I got a couple. I hit my goals last year. I want to hit more goals this year, song-wise. So I've been hitting a lot of inspirations, and I just really need to focus on myself and like focus on a lot of things, so I can broadcast that out into the world. Long-term wise, I'm just trying to live comfortably.
So you make your own music, you produce it.
Yes.
And I like that you have your set of goals. Do you write your goals down, or how do you?
I do and I don't. Like, I journal a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I journal a lot when I feel it, and then everything's like a feeling for me. I'm very like a feel kind of person.
Right.
But like, I use a journal. Sometimes I'll like just feel it. I'm like, okay, this is my goal. This is what I want to do. I'm just like always thinking in my head.
How do you stay mentally? I know we touched on it earlier about putting the blinders on, but like mentally well. Like, do you eat good? Do you exercise? I know you said you just journal. Do you do anything? Do you meditate?
Honestly, like, I go to the beach a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Try to go to the beach. I work out here and there. Like, I'm not the best. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like I'm not committed, but I do like try to get some workouts in. But I usually just write music. I usually try to spend time with my family, things that are important to me. It gives me that dopamine, and to keep on moving.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just kind of how I navigate.
Where can we find you, and will you be playing anything locally before you leave to go back overseas?
As of right now, that is to be determined.
Okay.
I'm just really focusing on just like producing. I think the next time I'll be back will be for Odyssey Music Festival. That'll be in October.
I got my tickets.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll be back in October for that, and I'm gonna be playing that with me and my boy. So
You gonna play?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I've been playing for them since the first year, and so I love Tom Greco.
Mhm.
I love Christine. I love everyone. The Odyssey fam has been the fam since day one. So that's gonna be the next time I'll be back home.
Okay.
There might be some sporadic pop-ups here and there, but as of right now, I'm really just focusing on myself and trying to get my thing going.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where can everybody find you? We'll post your socials and everything in the comments. But...
So it's gonna be Brizee Music on Instagram. Same thing for SoundCloud as well. My Facebook as well. So it's all the same.
Well, thank you so much for your time,
Thank
and
you.
you are wise beyond your years, and that is a compliment. So thank you
I
for
appreciate you
for
so
spending
much.
some time with me
I
tonight.
appreciate you.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.